Where are the issues today? Where are the risks likely to come from? What's the probability and the impact of each of those, and understand how you can try and mitigate those risks or issues. Who owns those mitigating factors, and what's the expected financial impact on your business from it?
Hey, how's it going, everyone? We all know people that are involved or even running small businesses. For example, my dad runs a small business, my father-in-law does as well, and so does my sister-in-law. And I imagine that's fairly similar for most people. And it's certainly the case for the team at Soldo. And we're really committed to doing everything that we can to try and help people through what is an incredibly difficult and actually quite a scary time as well. And in terms of what we can do through the product, we're already helping lots of businesses to put controls and processes around the money that's flowing out of the business, the money that they've worked so hard and put so much time and effort into getting into the business. We can help them stop that flowing out. So we're, for lots of businesses, forming a critical part of the infrastructure around cash flow. But that only goes so far in terms of all the challenges that are facing lots of different types of businesses at the moment. We're really lucky that we work with some of the best and brightest accountants and advisors in the country. So we wanted to put together a few tip videos that include some of the very best advice that we could find for businesses in how to get through the current climate, how to survive, and also how to work with their advisors to do that. First off the bat was Alistair Barlow at Flinder. Let's see what he had to say, and we'll catch up later in the week with the next video.
Hi there, my name is Alistair. I am founder and chief dreamer at Flinder. Flinder is an accounting, consulting, and data analytics business here in London. We typically work with fast growth, equity-backed businesses based in London and the Southeast. I think, first of all, when you look at budgeting and cash flow, there are two sides of the equation, largely two sides of the equation. There's kind of, money coming in and money going out. So from my perspective, you would look at both of those. At the moment, possibly you find that the money coming in, the cash coming in is probably dwindling. So sales might be dwindling. So from a kind of incoming perspective, from cash inflow perspective, you need to be looking at, do you have any debtors that you can be chasing at the moment? Obviously very conscious that right now, people aren't going to be wanting to pay any money out because they're trying to conserve cash themselves. But one, are there any old debt that you can get in? So that's probably the first thing. Two, understanding kind of what you're expecting to get in from sales in the forthcoming period, if sales are in fact reducing. And then the other area you can look at funds coming in, of course, is lending. And is there any way, lending or investors, is there any way you can eke out some debt from somewhere, from a lending provider, or can you manage spend using a credit card, or kind of manage the kind of outflow of cash that way? So I guess that's it from a cash inflow perspective. It's can you get money from old debts? What does the profile look like from existing sales? And can you get funding from any other source as well? So that's that. In terms of kind of spend review, that's the other side to the equation. Obviously on cash flow, it's the cash outflow. Really kind of go down the P&L, have a look. Is there anything? And generally, from a good housekeeping perspective, you should be doing this. But are there any old costs, old expenses that are going out the door that just haven't been cleared off yet? So are you paying for maybe subscriptions that you don't need anymore that you're not using? So that could be one. Are you paying for rent that you won't need over the next few weeks, few months? Can you cut that? Can you strip that back straight away? Are there any capital projects that you were looking at spending on that you just now should cancel or defer? Anything around travel and entertaining that you maybe were committed to, but you can now cancel? For example, me personally, I have a subscription with my rail card. So obviously that comes off automatically. So I've cancelled that because I won't be traveling. So there anything there that will come out the bank automatically that you won't be using? So that's a very important thing. Go through your direct debits and your kind of costs that will be coming out to see what you can cancel, and then just everything else that's discretionary, get rid of it. Anything that's pre-booked, such as accommodation, that you can cancel, that might come out automatically as well. And then maybe consider speaking to some suppliers that maybe have greater working capital facilities than you do, so you can potentially defer some payments to suppliers and take advantage of their working capital, and they might do that. So yeah, so there's a couple of considerations there on both sides of the equation, really, cash outflow and cash inflow. So where to start? I would suggest get into your finance system, whether that's Xero, QuickBooks, or even wherever you're recording your finance transactions, or even your bank. Even if you're a sole trader, even your bank, get into your bank and understand what you're spending by direct debit each month, what you need to cancel. But get into certainly, or your cards, your Soldo cards or your Soldo statements. But certainly your finance system will show you. Go by GL category, GL account code one by one. Understand kind of what the spend was last month. What you need to, what are the big items? What can you start to cut and cull? So going through it one by one in the finance system or your bank or card transactions. So in terms of understanding kind of the profile of cash that's coming in, again, get into your finance system to understand kind of the days outstanding you have with your debtors, who's overdue, who should be paying, what's the aging of that debt profile. So really get into your finance system, interrogate it, and look in your age debt report as to who should be paying you and who you should be contacting, try and get some cash flow. So another thing to be really mindful is that focusing on operational metrics in the business will give you more leading indicators as to what the business kind of health looks like over the coming weeks and coming months, depending on the business and the sector that you're actually in. But where financial information is largely historical, will tell you what's happened. Operational metrics, in other words, number of inquiries, number of hits on a website, number of phone calls, they will give you leading information as to what your business will look like in the coming period. So it's very, very important to pay attention to those non-financial metrics to get a measure of where your business will be going and other interventions you might need to make in your business right now. And another thing I would say is that we kind of share with our clients is around risk and impact assessment. So look down your entire business operations. Where are the issues today? Where are the risks likely to come from? What's the probability and the impact of each of those? And understand how you can try and mitigate those risks or issues. Who owns those mitigating factors, and what's the expected financial impact on your business from it? So that's all around identification, it's around potential mitigation and ownership, and around financial impact to the business. And that kind of allows you to kind of scenario plan and understand what your business could look like on different scenarios. If you have an accountant, get in touch with them if they haven't already done so. I would hope that your accountant will already have got in touch with you to discuss and kind of make you aware of some of the measures the government has brought out. I'm sure you're aware yourself, but actually there are a lot of ambiguities around some of these measures. So your accountant can help you understand how this applies to your specific circumstances, and they can also help you in many other ways to understand the risks and impacts in your business and help you with kind of what a cash flow forecast will look like, help you with kind of HMRC's time to pay, what the impact is on your business, and overlaying some of those measures on your cash flow forecast to what it looks like over the next few months. So absolutely, if your accountant hasn't got in touch with you, I hope they have done, but if not, you should get in touch with them because they can absolutely help. I mean, the NHS are doing an incredible job at the moment, but an accountant is the emergency service for your business, so get in touch with them. So another point I do want to raise is around cybersecurity. Unfortunately, there are a lot of predators out there at the moment, and they're trying to use this as an opportunity to push out phishing scams and try and just try and commit fraud at the moment. So just be really, really careful from a cybersecurity perspective that people aren't sending texts, imitating the NHS or imitating HMRC to try and put out some phishing scams to get your bank details and your card details from you and take advantage of that. So please be careful of that. So I hope you found some of those hints and tips useful. If you want more information, you can find me on LinkedIn and Twitter, either searching for Flinder, Flinder. You can find us at flinder.co, or you can find me, Alistair Barlow, on LinkedIn or Twitter, and that's Alistair, Alastair. We have put together a useful wiki guide for businesses during this kind of, this crisis at the moment. So have a look at that. You can find it on our homepage, on our social media as well. Hints and tips on there, and some useful links around some legal articles, around well-being for people working at home, around HMRC guidance, and obviously around kind of risk and impact assessment as well as the hints and tips on how to manage cash flow and how to focus on cash flow. So I think lastly, all I would say is stay home, protect the NHS, and save lives.
Alistair, thank you so much for your time and for your advice there. I'm sure that's going to be incredibly useful to lots and lots of people. And if you've enjoyed that, please keep your eyes peeled. We'll have the next video out in the next few days. Cheers.